This is Texas Tiger Digs. I'm using my handheld camera for this, so I hope that the content is interesting, because I can just about guarantee the cinematography is going to suck. Anyway, you know, I was working in the trashy part of that park, because that trashy part of that park gave me one of the more valuable rings I've ever had, and pretty an unusual ring in general. So what I wanted to do was to go out and farm that area and see if I could find anything else, and I did. So let me scan over here and show you. This is just a small example of a number. Now you multiply this by 4 or 5, and you've got the number of pull tabs I've generated by following this procedure. You know, so that it hasn't been it wasn't a failure, because I did learn some things, and I've made some changes in my Sovereign GT if faced with that type of circumstance again. So let me go back over to my Sovereign GT. I spent about an hour tinkering with this, so I've made the changes already. I have the discrimination turned up, I think just enough to eliminate iron. And excuse me, down at the bottom here, the notch, I've got the notch right between the last and next to the last gradation marker before the notch is full. So it's right there at the very limit. So let me see, if I don't know if I can get this straight or not. So I've got that set about there. Now, so what I was attempting to do with this is to set it so I can eliminate pull tabs and not nickels, and not gold. Now the gold part, I'm not too sure if, well, if I don't eliminate nickels, I know there's a small subset of gold that I'm going to be able to detect. So that's a given by the fact that some gold falls within that nickel range. Now I know that what I'm doing here is, you know, shrinking up my window of availability of gold to a great degree. So, but by doing that, you know, I'm in a or going to be, or this is set up for a very, very, very pull tab infested area. So infested that the return on effort may not be worth the result. So would you like to be in an area where you have to dig through 200 pull tabs for a small gold ring? Yeah, probably. But 200 pull tabs with no guarantee there's a gold ring on the end. No, you wouldn't want to do that. And then there's no guarantee ever in this, but this is something that you need to think about. So I'm going to get my Sovereign GT. I'm going to get it up and I'm going to switch it on. I'm going to keep all the settings the same. I'm just going to switch it on and turn the sensitivity up. And I'm going to pull this back so I can test some things. Now, one good thing about all these pull tabs, I have a good selection of square tabs and pull tabs, both with and without beaver tail, to test. So what I've attempted to do here, and we'll find out live whether I was successful, is to set it up where I can get rid of maybe 40 to 50% of my square tabs and still be able to detect nickels. So that's my goal here, is to be able to detect nickels. So that's the idea. Now I'm also going to be running through here a series of 5 pull tabs without beaver tail and 5 full pull tabs. Now I should have eliminated virtually all of these with this setting. So let's give it a run. I'm going to first run the square tabs, because they're the ones that are closest to the nickel, and we'll see how that works. All right, first I'm going to take a nickel with the configuration I've got. Now, there's no guarantee. This is an analog machine, Sovereign GT. So there is no guarantee that this setting is going to work on yours. You probably have to tinker with it to get something similar to what I'm getting here. Maybe 1.5 will work on yours. Maybe it'll be 2. Maybe it'll be 3. But I'm going to go over here to here, and I'm going to take this nickel and drag it in front of this coil and see if I get a reading. Now, I should get a reading. It may not be the best reading, but it should be enough to let me know that something is there. So here I go. So, see? I am getting nickel. So, that's successful. So now that was my aim. Now the thing is that the other part of what I wanted, have I been able to notch out at least some of these square tabs? I won't be able to notch them off because some of them are just dead on nickel. But maybe I can get a few. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to set them here in this little receptacle on my chair. And I'm going to pass this one. This is one in front of this coil. See, I did not successfully notch that out. All right, now I've got a variety in here because these square tabs are of different manufacture and of different composition. Now see there, that's another square tab, exactly the same shape as the previous square tab, but it's virtually notched out. There's a few scratchy signals, that's about it. So that's one was notched out, one wasn't. Here we go, the next one. That's live. So that's 2 where I did notch out. Here we go, another. Okay, we're gonna call that notched out. It's barely making any signal. It's scratchy enough for you to determine. I don't know, that's pretty solid. So I'm gonna put that in the indication pile that I didn't notch it out. So let's try this one. Each one of these are different. See, it's there, but it's scratchy, but I'm still gonna put that in this, that it wasn't notched out. Just try it again. Same thing there, wasn't notched out. See there? This one was notched out. See there? It's just a composition of the square tab. So here we go. And this one. This one was notched out. So this is another square tab. So out of the 8 square tabs, I notched out 3. And I still maintain a nickel. So that is maybe 35%. So I've notched out 35% of the square tabs, which means I could probably still be digging square tabs, but I won't be digging all of the square tabs. And that's about the best we can do with this setup. So now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to pick up these standard pull tabs without the beaver tails, and we're going to see if I've notched out most, if not all, of these. Now this is going to be my definition of success or failure. Okay, notched out. A little scratchy, but notched out. Okay, that's one notched out. You know, very, very light, very barely. So that one is notched out to, you know, to a great degree. Here we go. Notched out. That's 3. There, I'm going again. There's another one. Notched out. That's 4. All right, here's another. Successfully notched out. That's 5. So 5 of 5 ring pulls absent beaver tail actually were discriminated out. So here I go. These are various, and these are full pull tabs with beaver tails. Some are bent, some aren't. We're just going to try them all. You know, we know that by changing the beaver tail, you can change the quality, so there's no consistency here, which is what we need. All right, here we go. I'm going to try one of these full pull tabs. notched out. 2 of these full pull tabs, notched out. 3 of these full pull tabs, notched out. 4, a very crunched up one, notched out. And here's one that's basically folded, notched out. So all 5 of those full pull tabs were notched out. So what have I done that's positive? Well, I still get nickels. I've eliminated maybe 30% of the square tabs, and I've eliminated by this test, I'm sure there might be some difference in here that I'm not aware of, 100% of both the full pull tabs and the rings without beaver tails. Now, I didn't include beaver tails. Beaver tails ring up like nickels. There's nothing I can do about that. But so what does this do for me? That means in a trashy area, potentially I can still scan it and potentially find a gold ring. Now, I have knocked out probably many of the small wedding bands, but maybe not. Those might go down to foil, but I'm not. I've got my discrimination turned so foil is available. So foil to nickel is available, which should allow me to get the smaller rings and potentially. Now, I've notched out most of the pull tabs, but not all of the square tabs. So I still have a range I can get beyond that nickel. Okay, we're eliminating all of those pull tabs, both of the ones with beaver tail and without. I have closed off a part of the garbage and a part of my rings. But at least I got a shot at some rings. This is Texas Tiger Digs. You know, this is going to look a little out of sync because I forgot to put this into the video, so I'm going to insert it where it fits. But also, I need to show you the setup with this, with the one gold ring I found this year. So that is this. So let me turn it back on. All the settings are exactly the same. All I'm going to do with this is show that with the settings as I've got them now, I would have at least found this gold ring, the one I did find. So, and you know, that's you know, it's a very isolated and maybe a unique type of a ring. So I'm not saying that this is an indication I would have found a traditional gold ring, but I would have found this ring. So here we go. Now, the interesting thing is, if I turn it sideways like this, I hear it. If I turn it to the full ring size, I get even better if I turn it flat. And since rings tend to fall flat, you know, I would find it either way. But, you know, like I said, I would still be able to find this ring. So that's good. So I'll just insert this in. And so my settings does not eliminate all gold. I didn't think it did. You thought it did. But it's going to eliminate a bunch. But at least it'll give me a chance if I'm in a really, really trashy area with a lot of pull tabs. I'll have a shot at finding a gold ring. Alright. And I don't have to, you know, mine 1,000 pull tabs to find one potential ring. So, well, that's basically what I've got. And like I said, this is not an optimum situation. What you need to do to find rings is basically dig everything. Gold rings, but dig everything. So that hasn't changed that. But basically what I've done is I've made it where at least I got a puncher's chance of finding a gold ring in a trashy area. So this is Texas Tiger Digs. I don't know if this is really worth anything, but you know, you can be the judge. And you know, I'm going to try this. And you know, I might even go back out to the trashy part of that park when I have spare time. I won't be filming unless I do find something, but I will be reporting the results. So we'll see. And I am going to call it a night, and I will talk to you later. And we're going to see what we can find, you know, in our next hunt, in our next dig. So you have a wonderful morning, noon, or night.